Tracking the pulse of the road and the future of flight. From viral trends to policy shifts, we capture the traffic to bring you the stories that drive us. Your fast track guide to everything on the move starts right now. From the Billionaire News Channel studio to Mellow 947 BFM. Sitting in for Paulo Del Rosario, I'm Gie Barroga, and this is Shift Happens. We begin with the latest in mobility. The Tuesday morning rush was disrupted by red taillights along EDSA as a large crowd gathers at the People Power Monument in Quezon City. Members of religious group Iglesia ni Cristo staged a protest rally at the iconic site calling for transparency and accountability. The crowd has occupied 2 lanes each on both the northbound and southbound stretches of EDSA. The Metro Manila Development Authority, or the MMDA, is monitoring the situation on the ground and deployed additional traffic personnel to keep cars moving. MMDA crews towed illegally parked vehicles along EDSA White Plains Avenue and issued violation tickets to their owners. As of 1:20 in the afternoon, the MMDA has closed the EDSA Ortigas Service Road northbound as well as White Plains Avenue in both directions. Motorists along EDSA southbound from New York Avenue to White Plains are experiencing moderate to slow-moving traffic. The same condition is being observed on EDSA northbound from Mega Mall to White Plains. While private vehicles traversing EDSA go bumper to bumper, busway stations continue normal operations. Transportation Secretary Banoy Lopez has ordered additional deployment of Special Action and Intelligence Committee for Transportation personnel to assist motorists and commuters in these areas. On our rails, the Department of Transportation assures passengers that all stations from North Avenue to Taft Avenue stay open despite the large crowd gathered at the People Power Monument in Quezon City. Station personnel and security teams are fully deployed across all stations to maintain order, ensure passenger safety, and keep operations running smoothly. On to our topic, motorsports is more than just speed, competition, and crossing the finish line. Today, it serves as a platform for developing skill, discipline, and responsible driving while inspiring a new generation of Filipino racers. The Philippine motorsports industry continues to gain momentum, opening doors for aspiring drivers to learn, compete, and pursue their passion. Behind this growth are organizations committed to raising the standards of driver education, advancing motorsports development, and promoting road safety through professional training and real-world experience. Beyond the racetrack, motorsports training plays a vital role in building confident, disciplined, and responsible drivers. Through driver education, professional events, and road safety advocacies, these initiatives are helping shape the future of motorsports in the Philippines while encouraging excellence both on and off the road. To share his journey in Philippine motorsports, his role in continuing the 27-year legacy of Tuason Racing School, its vision of developing the next generation of Filipino racers, and his advocacy for driver education, motorsports development, and road safety, we are joined today by Arthur Tuason of Tuason Racing School. Welcome to the show, Arthur. Thank you so much for braving the traffic today.
Yes, thank you. I'm really happy to be here. Very, very grateful.
Yes. So, as someone who's been racing and someone who's really used to speed on the right place, like inside the tracks, how do you deal with traffic? What do you do when you're stuck in traffic?
Actually, we understand that at the racetrack, that's where we really let out this aggression, this speed, this power. But when on track, when in the roads itself, such as today with the traffic, this is where we have to calm down. We have to let this aggression pass by. Even if other drivers aren't as giving, we have to be the ones understanding.
Oh, that's one of the skills that you are teaching your students at Tuason Racing School. But let's start off with how did it all start for you? I know that you came from a family of racers and it's somehow natural for you to be in it, but how did it all start?
So actually, I was brought into the sport. It's something I've always wanted to do because I've seen it growing up. I'd always be brought with my father to the races. When he was racing Formula 3, when he was doing go-karting, seeing my uncle do it. And then even just being at the track, I grew up on the smell of gasoline, and it's one of my favorite smells, which is actually quite crazy. But when I started at around 11 years old, it just came easily. It was so fun for me, and just competing and going on from there.
What was your first shot at racing?
That was when I was around 11. I did go-karting. I did we had a program called Champions of the Future. It's actually where you see a lot of racers. They came from this program. It was very grassroots, just learning how to go-kart, and then moving on to the Petron National Series.
Okay, you are competing nationally and internationally. So, coming from your dad and your lolo, you're named after your lolo, if I'm
Yes,
not mistaken.
exactly.
So, what lessons have you learned from, and your uncle also?
Yes.
What lessons have you learned from them that you are using during your races from the start and until now that you're now at the helm of Tuason Racing School?
Oh man, in terms of lessons, countless, but really the one that I appreciate the most, and this is from my father, is no matter what happens, no matter how pressuring it gets, how difficult it gets, you have to enjoy it. Otherwise, why would you put yourself through this? And for me, racing is a passion that, yes, I want to help other people. Yes, I want to do my best. But at the end of the day, I enjoy this. This is where I want to bring my passion. This is where I want to feel it.
So, from karting, you moved to what motorsports discipline, and then what others have you tried?
In terms of path, so I've done go-karting, and then from then on I moved to competing in cars here nationally. I did Philippine GT, and currently I'm actually competing in Japan. So I compete in it's in a Formula One racetrack. It's called Suzuka Circuit, and I race what's called a V1 or a Vita.
Would you say that that's one of the milestones of your careers, or are there still more coming for you?
Absolutely. At the moment, it's honestly hard to believe that I've actually reached that level. It's quite insane driving a track and then the following weekend seeing it on the broadcast, F1 drivers, people like Kimi Antonelli, Lewis Hamilton, racing the same place you were in and you've competed in. It's really so mind-blowing to me. But for sure, there is more to go. There's more to see from me. And I really, really hope that you guys can join me for that journey.
Yeah, but aside from your dad and your family, you've mentioned a lot of international racers. Who are you really looking up to when it comes to racing from the time that you're a kid to now that you're grown up?
Well, aside from my family, of course, they've definitely been a big inspiration for me. Someone I've always looked up to as an idol, someone who was world famous for just being so aggressive and just really giving his all on track, is Ayrton Senna. He's the Brazilian F1 champion, actually.
Was there pressure on your end that you came from a family of racers? And how do you deal with that pressure? And how does that help you in your career right now?
Yes, for sure. In terms of pressure, it definitely comes with the name. I've been called the legacy, the next Tuason. But a lot of the pressure actually comes from myself internally. And that's where my dad's advice came in and really just, son, you have to enjoy it. You have to enjoy this journey. Because if you don't show how much fun you're having, how can you show and how can you teach other people?
Right now, you have the Tuason name, you're carrying it, you're the next gen Tuason. So how's the responsibility? How do you balance the responsibility with honoring the family's achievements while creating your own path, your own name in motorsports?
Of course, there will always be comparisons in terms of accolades, in terms of competitions you've joined, competitions you've reached, tracks you've raced in. But really, it's about the enjoyment for us, especially for Tuason Racing, because what we do focus on is the grassroots. What we aim to teach, aside from the basic skills, the how to get started in this environment, it's really how to love the sport.
On to Tuason Racing School, what's like a typical day look like as a student at Tuason Racing School?
So currently we're running the academy. It's the Toyota Gazoo Racing Academy. So of course it's in partnership with Toyota Gazoo Racing here in the Philippines. We are structuring a career path, definitely for people to go from zero all the way to a championship racer. In terms of going to the academy, we teach a lot of skills that seem contradictory to actual road driving. An example I could give is really hard braking. Normally on the roads, we brake very lightly. We want people to be comfortable in their cars. We want the passengers to be comfortable. But in racing, you really have to hit the brakes.
Have you joined the Vios Cup before, and it was at Toyota Gazoo Racing Philippine Cup now?
I've always thought about it. I've always thought it would be fun, but really in terms of Toyota Gazoo Racing, I'm very, very happy in my role in setting up the series, building the racetracks, and really just making it the best event I possibly can.
And you get to drive the cars also prior to the races themselves. Or
Yes,
no?
of course.
We have the Tamaraw Cup sa Toyota Gazoo Racing Philippine
Yes.
Cup, and at your time, at the time that you're at the helm, dun siya nag-flag off. So how was that? Because the Tamaraw is not the normal race car that we see on the racetracks that's, have competition. So how does that feel like for you to be at the helm of this one?
So what's different between the Vios and the Tamaraw is the Tamaraw is actually a rear-wheel drive. The Vios is front-wheel. With the Tamaraw, it's actually so interesting to drive this car because, of course, rear-wheel drive is really where race cars shine. Race cars really should be rear-wheel drive. It's really where you get to feel the power. It's where you get to feel the rotation. And actually getting to drive the Tamaraw, especially in the manual, it's actually quite fun, especially because it's so torquey. And there's certain ways you have to drive it. Otherwise, you're very, very prone to wheel spin. It's been an experience, for sure.
But in teaching racing, what do you feel like is the hardest part? What's the hardest lesson to teach your students at Tuason Racing?
Well, definitely there's a lot of things to unlearn, but for people who are actually going racing, I think the number one thing, and this is also from my experience, it's the giggle. It's to relax at the wheel, because if you're doing a lot of things in the car, it feels fast, but you're not actually going fast. Smooth is fast. So while you may be attacking on the outside, on the inside, you want to be cool as a cucumber.
Apart from the giggle, what are misconceptions about racing that we need to debunk right now, especially because it should be done like in an enclosed space? But apart from that, what other misconceptions do we have in racing that should be corrected?
Definitely, motorsports is dangerous. That will never go away. It's just a part of the sport. But other sports are also quite dangerous. And the safety features of racing have evolved massively over the years. Even now, accidents that would have definitely costed someone their life, people can walk away from. I've had accidents where you could see like completely half of the car is just gone. It's a write-off. But I've walked out scot-free, no issues, completely ready to race the next day.
But take us to that time. What happened? Bakit nagkaroon ng aksidente?
Yes, so for example, I had an accident, let's say 2021. During the rainy season, I was just practicing.
Madulas.
Yes, I've hit a puddle and I ended up in the wall in Batangas Racing Circuit. Batangas Racing Circuit, incredibly fun, also quite dangerous, but the speed is different there.
Okay, you've mentioned about Batangas Racing Circuit. We have a couple of tracks in the Philippines, pero right now, if I'm not mistaken, it's always Clark International Speedway. Batangas Racing naman, medyo malayo and not so much accessible. So, what's the state like of Philippine motorsports in the Philippines, considering that we have limited tracks and it's a sport compared to other sports? It's not like well known, it's not well supported as well. So, how would you describe it right now?
Well, that's definitely been a stumbling block that it's not as supported as other sports. But for us, we take it as a challenge for sure. In terms of racing, we are actually going back to Batangas racing circuit for the TGRPH Cup. And we really want to introduce that more because that track is very, very fun. It's a completely different animal to Clark International Speedway. But you're right, it's a little underdeveloped. And that's just our challenge now. We are pushing forward these developments. We're pushing forward for everything to come in, for more people to come in and really bring that awareness.
Yeah, and after the pit stop, because of the fuel crisis, we're coming back to the racetracks. But before we continue the discussion, we'll take a short break. But when we return, we'll continue our conversation on the growth of Philippine motorsports, the vision behind Tuason Racing School, and the importance of driver education, motorsports development, and road safety in shaping the next generation of Filipino racers. Stay with us as we speak with Arthur Tuason. We'll be right back. You're tuned in into the Billionaire News Channel and Mellow 947 BFM.
Looking for the perfect escape? Discover Club Nalu, a serene beachfront retreat where stillness meets style. Nestled along the quiet shores of Bacnotan in La Union, Club Nalu is designed for slow mornings, ocean breezes, and moments that help you unwind. From cozy rooms and sun-drenched villas to relaxing spaces inspired by nature. Every corner invites you to pause, breathe, and recharge. Club Nalu, come as you are and leave feeling a little lighter. Book now at clubnalu.ph.
And we're back. This is Shift Happens. I'm Gie Barroga, and you're listening to Mellow 947 BFM. Simulcast to BNC, the Billionaire News Channel. We're still here with Arthur Tuason of Tuason Racing School as we continue our discussion on the growth of Philippine motorsports and the vision behind Tuason Racing School. So, Arthur, Toyota Gazoo Racing Philippine Cup is coming back this July, and you are using biofuels, alternate fuels on the races. What's your thoughts on that coming from the fuel crisis that we have right now?
Yes, actually the solution that we had, this biofuel, it's not a new concept. We had a fuel crisis back in the Philippines as well in the, I think, 80s or 90s, and we had the exact same solution. So in terms of actually affecting the cars, actually driving them, we won't see very many differences. All that we will really do is the alleviation on the impact of using these premium fuels, just so that we can really show that we're doing our part, we're not just wasting for the sake of wasting.
You had a couple of runs and last weekend, if I'm not mistaken, I saw it like all over social media. Some of my friends are running. So what's the feedback like? Did you use biofuels already during the practice runs, and how was that?
Oh, so for the previous weekends, that was the testings and actually the school. So at the moment, I actually can't tell you about that yet, but definitely we are doing those testings. We're making sure it's 100% safe, not just for our drivers, but also for the people watching. We are testing all sorts of things in terms of safety. We just want to make sure that we're 100% above board.
Yeah, you joined Tuason Racing 2024, you've mentioned. And in the past year, Toyota Gazoo Racing, I'm not sure if it's Toyota Gazoo Racing Philippine Cup at that time or if it's still Vios Cup, but they tried using an electric vehicle in the racetracks, parang trial lang. So now that there is a big shift into electrified vehicles, what's your thought on that? Because pag racing, it's always the sound of engine.
Yes.
Yeah. So how was like that for you?
So in terms of EVs, yes, we had a hybrid actually, but it wasn't competing. It was there as a safety car. It was actually quite interesting to drive. as an EV, they're very silent, correct? As petrol heads, man, we love the sound. So even just starting it, I would wonder, like, is this thing on? But it is quite useful, these hybrids, and not even here, but even abroad, we're seeing a lot of resurgence or a lot of popularity, especially with like Formula E or even LMP cars. We're seeing hybrids in top tier racing, so there's definitely potential there.
But in the Philippines, do you think there is future and there would be acceptance?
We could definitely, if it's something that we can convince the racers that this is the future, this is something that could push Philippine motorsports to the next level. I mean, even abroad, they are pushing for acceptance, like what I was saying. And even there are rumors that F1 as well might take in BYD as a constructor.
Yes, but in the well, not just in the Philippines, but globally, racing is considered as one of the rich man's sport. And at Tuason Racing, you said that you are making it accessible. You're teaching the grassroots of racing in racing. So how do you make it that? How do you like bridge the gap between the financial needs and yung mga bata, yung mga gustong mag-aral talaga ng racing, and make this a profession?
Yes. So for bridging that gap, we actually have a lot of instructors, of course, people who are there to really share their knowledge, to teach, to be the manpower behind TRS. And for those people, they actually, of course, they started from zero. These are people who've competed in many of our categories. We've done challenges like Top Drivers Challenge. We've done things with Top Gear. Of course, we have the Gazoo Racing Academies. A lot of these people came in with no knowledge of the financial weight of racing, but through our programs, through becoming an instructor, they slowly learn, they slowly are introduced to racing teams, to other racers, and they can become what's known as a mercenary racer, someone who just fills in a seat when they're needed. For example, during endurance races, you'll need more than just one racer to actually compete. So there is a whole host of opportunities for people with the drive to get it.
For this year, how many novice drivers do you have and graduated in Tuason Racing School that is competing already?
In terms of competition, at the moment, we have not yet seen any new ones because of the fuel crisis, which really slowed racing down.
Yeah.
But we do have the Tamarail class, as we've mentioned, and working with Toyota Gazoo Racing, we've introduced 6 new racers to the ecosystem. Some of them are media, some of them have only had karting experience, but definitely these guys are hungry.
So Tuason Racing is also one of the pioneers of one-seater race in the Philippines. How is that going right now? You said you are competing with that also, but locally, how is it?
So locally with the V1 or Vita program, we've actually had to take a break with it. And part of the reason I'm racing is so that we can restructure our ladder or our program, because we used to do that and then the prize would just be to race in Japan. But we want to see past that. We want to make it a proper experience, make it a proper ladder. We don't want it to just be a tour like, oh, you've done well, do one race in Japan, and that's it. We want people to really see and really aim to go out there to show themselves like the Philippines is here, the Philippines is ready to compete on the world stage.
Okay, when it comes to our local racers, meron tayong mga emerging, we have young racers who are actually making their names internationally. Do you see the growth? How do you see the growth of Philippine motorsports and the racers themselves? You, in particular, you are also racing abroad and bannering the Philippine flag.
For me, bannering the Philippine flag, it's actually, it is a great honor, for sure. Of course, I would see other fellow racers like Zach David or Bianca Bustamante, and they would, and Eduardo Coseteng, of course. These guys are really doing their best out there, and they are showing us, they are showing the whole Philippine population that we exist, we're here, and we can compete.
Okay, so to kind of wrap it all up, Arthur, what support do you think the the motorsports community need to further boost this sport that we have, which we are excelling?
Yes. For us, it's really exposure, exposure, exposure. We really want to show the people that this is something that can be accessible. It's not just a pipe dream. It's not just a rich man's sport. We don't want to, of course, disillusion people that, yes, there is money involved, but there are so many ways that we can help you with that. There are so many ways that it can be done, provided you have the drive to really chase that dream.
So Arthur, where can people find you and continue the inspiration that you are doing right now to especially younger generation?
So in terms of academy, in terms of learning, we have our social media. We have Tuason Racing on Instagram, on Facebook, and we'll be very happy to see you guys at the schools.
Yeah, and see you at the tracks.
Yes.
He is Arthur Tuason of Tuason Racing School. Thank you so much for braving the traffic and coming to the studio today.
Thank you.
And that concludes our roundup of the stories driving the industry forward. I'm Gie Barroga. Join us again tomorrow on Shift Happens, your fast-track guide to everything on the move. Keep it here on the Billionario News Channel and Mellow 947 BFM.